Hey guys, it's Fairy Truths. So today I'm going to be talking about fairy pendulums, and I don't have one with me, but you just have to bear with me. If you want to see what one looks like, you can go over to Confessions of a Fairy's channel. She has one video, I think, about fairy pendulums, and she shows hers in it. But today I wanted to talk a little bit more about it. What is a fairy pendulum? Well, it is a sort of gem or stone or crystal, whatever you want to call it. Normally connected to a chain. They don't always come connected to a chain. You may have to add a chain onto them, but normally the idea is to be connected to a chain. What are they for? Well, they're for several different things. The main reason is for spells and making spells. Many spells do require a fairy pendulum if it has to do with fairies in general. Potions may require it to complete the spell and lock it into place. Or you may need it as a symbol. Some spells require you to have a symbol at all times, and you can use that as a symbol. It's a really good way to use the fairy pendulum, and it's a very good way to have the symbol with you at all times and not look suspicious and not look like it's related to fairies, if you know what I'm saying. How do you get one? You can buy them online, and you have to make sure it's authentic, and it will have a seal on the seller's thing that says authentic fairy pendulum. It won't always go by the name fairy pendulum because some people do sell them not knowing what it is, but it has to be authentic. And most people get their fairy pendulums from fairy school. It's sort of like when you graduate and you have a class ring from high school. It's kind of like a class ring, except it's completely different, but that's the thing I can relate it to the most. So when you graduate fairy school, you're given several things: your fairy diploma and your fairy pendulum. And I would show you guys my fairy pendulum if I had it still, but I do not, so you just have to bear with me. I just ordered some for my giveaway. It took me forever to find authentic ones, and they do ship from a different country, so it is going to take a while to get here. Maybe about a week more. I did order them about a week ago, so hopefully in another week or so it will be here and I can start the giveaway. Another thing that they can be used for is to help spells go by faster. And the way that they do this is by having it with you or on you at all times, and using it during the spell process will make it go by a lot faster. So if you perform your spell with the fairy pendulum on and you keep it on from that moment on, I mean, you can take it off every now and then if you need to, but I would recommend wearing it as often as possible, and it does make your spells go by a lot faster regardless of what the spell is. They come in all different shapes, sizes, colors. They may not look at your fairy pendulum, may not look exact to my fairy pendulum, and so on and so forth. Different colors, different shapes, different types, they all have the same purpose. They all just look different. They may come on a chain, they may not. You may have to add a chain. As long as the chain doesn't break, you should be good. It is possible to make your own fairy pendulum, but it's a very hard process, and even I don't know how to do that yet, but I have heard of people making their own. It does take a long time to do that, and it does take a lot of skill, and you have to learn about it in school. You have to go to school. I think it's 3 semesters or 2 semesters, and once you're done with that, you're certified and you can do it. You cannot make and sell or give away fairy pendulums if you're not certified to do so. It's just like any other type of marketing thing. You have to get a certain certification to call yourself a producer in that sense. Many people do make their own fairy pendulums, but very rarely do they make them and give them away. You usually have to buy them, and when it's handmade like that, it normally does cost a little bit more than if you got it from a fairy pendulum maker, not from like a singular person. It's sort of like Etsy, kind of. If you buy things on Etsy that were handmade, you may be able to get it cheaper somewhere where it's produced in its normal manufacturing factory, I guess. Sort of like that. So yeah, I don't know how to make them. If I did, that'd be really cool, and I could make a bunch to give to you. But I did just go ahead and order, I think, 5 fairy pendulums because it came in a bundle. It was cheaper that way. So maybe 5 people will be able to win the giveaway, because it would make no sense to have 5 and give multiple to one person. So that's just something for you guys to look forward to. 5 of you could win, and I don't have any information about the giveaway right now. I just wanted to add that into this video because it does have to do with fairy pendulums. I think I covered just about everything. If you have any more questions about fairy pendulums, leave them below and I'll make another video about fairy pendulums answering only those questions because I think it's easier that way than answering a bunch of the same questions in one Q&A, and rather having my Q&A be multiple different topics rather than just one. So leave those below and I'll try to answer them in the next video about fairy pendulums. Just make sure it wasn't already answered in this video or Confessions of a Fairies video, because I don't want to have to repeat myself. I don't want to have to repeat her. It's just easier for everybody. And her video is only a few minutes long, and this video, I'm not sure how long it is, but hopefully it's not too long. And I hope you guys learned a little bit more about fairy pendulums that you didn't already know from her. And maybe if you didn't watch hers yet, then she can tell you a little bit more than I did. And yep, that's pretty much all I have to say. So again, thank you guys for watching, and leave your questions below. Thanks, bye!